Hey guys, and welcome to our review of She-Hulk Episode 3. This is going to be fun. Considering what happens in the episode, I'm sure that there's stuff surrounding it on the internet. People probably have gone crazy over it. But this one is called The People versus Emily Blonsky. And we get what I was hoping for. And it's funny. I remember back in, when people hated on our episode 1, and there was kind of a backlash in the comments, and then even a little bit in episode 2, they're like, "Oh, Joe, you're so naive. They'll never do any trial or hearing stuff because the writers came out and publicly said that they're not good at writing that stuff, or they're not. So it's not gonna happen. That's not gonna be in the series at all. You're a fucking idiot. You're gonna be disappointed when you realize that there's no trial stuff." This episode is trial stuff. So this episode does the hearing, does a trial, two simultaneous trials. One was well done. The other one was fucking annoying, having to do with a current rapper. It's dominating the headlines. The fact that Megan the Stallion appears in this. Number one, I have no fucking clue who Megan the Stallion is. And it was like this girl was owed money by Disney.
So you didn't know who
Marvel.
she was. You didn't know who she was. Did you think that she was a made-up Marvel character?
No.
Or did you like look at her? I just imagine him sitting there just like, man, this is a weird thing from the makeup. It's like, no, she's real.
That's actually what I was hoping that they would do instead of this annoying Megan the Stallion thing, because it's clear she's not an actress. To be honest, this is probably gonna piss off the one Megan the Stallion fan amongst our 100,000 viewers. Right? Is I think she's a ripoff of Cardi B, because I was following Cardi B's personality and rise to fame. I no longer follow her or anything like that, but I liked Cardi B, where she's like, and the tongue out, just acting ridiculous, and she kind of seems like a ripoff of Cardi B to me. So I'm like, damn, she must have she's got some dirt on some kind of Disney executive or one of the show producers, because the amount of times that Megan the Stallion came out of characters' mouths in this episode was exceedingly annoying, and that I will give it to you guys. Now, I wish they would have used an in-universe MCU celebrity. There's plenty that they could choose from in the comics and stuff, but I guess they wanted to tie it in the real world because the She-Hulk comics has always had this lighthearted, parodying, satire, all of these different things mixed in. In fact, She-Hulk was the first kind of mainstream Marvel fourth wall breaker, even before Deadpool.
No, Deadpool did first. It's just ripping off Deadpool.
Whatever.
So says comments.
This is what I've looked up through the comic history. I don't know if you can give me the exact number of the Deadpool versus the exact year of the She-Hulk, but she popularized it kind of first. So that's why we see it in this particular episode. So overall, I'm happy with what I saw in the hearings. Now, granted, it's not a trial. These are more hearings. There is a trial later on. I'm happy with what I saw in both of them. These are kind of, early cases, and I'm hoping we see a little bit more of this, though it's like her biggest case she manages to kind of solve in this one, though I'm pretty sure there's going to be some additional ramifications, and that's not all that it seems. As far as the subplots in this particular one, again, rather annoying with Dennis. This Dennis character, he is so fucking over the top. Yeah. It's to the point where it's like, yeah, we get it. It's he's a cartoonish pig of a man. Sort of every single collective bad quality in a man is in this guy. Are there people like this in the world? Maybe. It's like, yes, I can, aspects of it, but it feels like, punching unnecessarily down. I mean, I know that this stuff exists, but it gets a little bit annoying. But when it's played for laughs and you try to look at it from an outside perspective, I think some of it works, but most of it is pretty annoying. And I just need to get Dennis out of the fucking picture, and let's continue with this Abomination storyline. Let's continue with, Jen's. coming into her own as a superhero, because as we see towards the end of the episode, we get our first sort of second fight. I guess the first fight was her in the courtroom beating up Titania, but she just single punch knocks her out. This one, she takes on a. I guess I had to look this one up. These were the Wrecking Crew, which were actually comic book, characters, but these were pale comparisons to their comic book characters, but used in a funny way. Like, what is all these glowy things that you guys have? Did you rob a Asgardian construction crew? And they're like, yeah. So I thought it was funny. Anyways, so overall, I liked the episode, but I cannot deny how annoying it was. And then as for the end credit scene, we'll talk about that in a second. So what did you guys think about the People versus Emily?
I was kind of left unsatisfied. I kind of wanted more case room and more hearing stuff and the lawyer aspects. But half of this episode I didn't like because it didn't really land for me with the whole Dennis and that trial. They focused too much on that. If they would have done the other stuff, I think it would have been better.
The Abomination side.
Yeah, that would have been better because that's what I'm there for
right.
She-Hulk and her court hearing and stuff like that. But there wasn't a lot of character development for her either. So I'm still trying to latch on to her like as a character. Like I just need some more backstory from her or something.
She-Hulk?
Yeah. So I just need some more from her, but I thought it was okay.
Yeah, I had asked at the very beginning, before we even started watching the show, I was like, I'm fine with a lightweight show that doesn't have galactic level threats coming to Earth all the time, and I'm fine with that. And I think they took it to a degree that is even further beyond what I'm willing to, because I want a lightweight. This is weightless. This is cotton candy television where it's there while you're eating it, and the second it's over, it's out of your mind, and it's just like everything is gone. Like, I don't think that there was a single ounce of weight to this episode, and I'm worried that we're not going to get. I need something. You can't just give me. It felt like this episode had nothing but like the Wong cameo, and I love Wong. He's great, and they even addressed that they're going to do a bunch more of these things. But like I think I need a little bit more from the show. Give her something to do besides beating up on her old DA friend.
Exactly.
And the Abomination thing. I thought we were going to do something cool with it, and we may later on, but we didn't really do that here. It just kind of they kind of felt like they stretched out, and this is it's a really short episode, so. I don't hate the show. I don't even dislike the show. I think that it's fun while you're watching, but the second that it turns off, it's just if there hadn't been memes, nothing but like twerking memes nonstop for the past 24 hours, I would have completely forgot about this after watching it.
What about the CGI? CGI, how's it performing in the third episode?
It's still not great, but it's still like low budget Marvel TV show.
And I don't know that's because when she's wearing that suit, it just looks too artificial. It makes me wish that they had gone with an actress that they could have embiggened or used camera tricks in order to kind of get that real feeling. Helps you identify with her a little bit more. But this is definitely a show that's a little over the top and sort of parodying somewhat like the comic. But I'm with you guys. I think overall it was an all right episode. Good episode, but not one that's like reaching the heights that we're hoping for.
Yeah.
With the attorney at law concept and the She-Hulk concept in general. It's paying lip service to its comic origins. At one point, a reporter kind of says, hey, there's rumors that your origin was from a mafia hit. That is her actual origins in the comics. It's, of course, not here. Her origins here are kind of stupid, as we've covered before. Happenstantial. I guess most superhero conversions are, but this one just felt a little disappointing. And then the fourth wall breaking continues here. She makes a joke about cameos and it not all being a show about cameos, and then she realizes that it's a show, there's a lot of cameos, but it's still her show. So that stuff is working, and I think the subplot, like, if this is the last time we have this Dennis shit, then I'm satisfied. We don't need any more of that shit. Let's get to the fucking point now, right? Episode 3 is hopefully propelling us. I think that this is a crossroads point for the series, because we keep doing way more of the Dennis shit and that kind of stuff. We're going to take a huge dump. Or we're going to do a little bit more of the Abomination side plot. We're going to do more attorney at law, maybe ramping up, giving her some time to fight crime and to learn how to do that aspect of her personality in addition to the lawyer, that's when I think we can go upwards. So let's go to final verdicts, and then we will jump into the spoilers or episode discussion and the after credits scene. That was ridiculous.
I would say this is a little bit below average TV for me. It was 5 because it's already a short episode, and half of this episode I didn't like. It was kind of annoying. The jokes didn't hit. And this part I did like was not fulfilling. And I just, it's a 4 for me. Didn't really
Below average.
below average. Like I said, the jokes didn't really hit. And Dennis was annoying. That whole trial thing was kind of annoying. And
All right.
half of this episode, me.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm either between a 4 or 5. I think that this is just a nothing episode. I think that the series has to either, for me, typically TV series are like each individual episode matters, and we go through an arc, and it's like trial of the week, and there's an individual story, and each individual one needs to be semi-satisfying, or we do an overall arc for the series. And this episode felt like neither, right? Because I wasn't satisfied at the end of this episode. It didn't feel like there was anything that I like. The Abomination the arc wasn't all that great. It was just I liked seeing Wong, and that was fine. I think that the other trial thing, there were some funny parts to it. Like I love that that there were some things there that worked, and there's some parts that didn't. So yeah, I didn't really care for a lot of this episode. It didn't feel individually satisfying. It didn't feel like it was feeding into a bigger arc. Now it could be important. Like Wrecking Crew could be something that becomes they're clearly the henchmen of someone more important. They talk about their boss. But as of right now, this episode didn't feel important or warranted, and it doesn't quite feel like it fit in because we don't know what else is coming. So I think I'm also at a damn.
Yeah.
I think it's honestly for Disney Plus type stuff. I think this is a little below average, so I think I will go with a 4. I don't hate it. I watch a lot of these trial shows, and I just like this individual one. If we just look at this one in a vacuum, does not feel very important.
Okay, I like it the best of us. I'd say it's a 6 out of 10. That's going down from last week because it does have some problems. I agree with some of the weightlessness of the things happening and the annoying Dennis and the Megan Thee Stallion commercial. This kind of stuff drags this shit down. And then focusing on 2 different trials, one that I don't really care about. I get it. It's a funny subplot, but again, the jokes didn't land for me because it was more annoying. Megan Thee Stallion, Dennis is over the top. Men are fucking pig-headed idiots kind of thing. Versus what I cared about, which was Jen as She-Hulk doing her job and doing it well and sort of buying time, submitting witnesses, doing her research, and then eventually waiting for Wong to show up, who shows up late. And then, I like the Wong cameo. And I do like the setup. I think they are setting up things here. So we get a little bit of the release of Abomination. I think hopefully that will lead to some fruition. And then the Wrecking Crew showing up. It's shown that a guy tries to poke her with some kind of blood extraction device, and then they say the boss is going to be pissed, so we have a setup there. So it does set things up. It's just the comedy and the fucking advertisement and Dennis really dragged the episode down for me, and I hope we get less of that and more of the stuff that I said I liked. Yeah. So 6 out of 10, slightly above average, but I'm getting worried now because, the trials worked, but they weren't at the level, obviously, of, a Better Call Saul or any really, super awesome court drama. That's why we're at a 6
even
and
one
not
of like
a 9
the
or a 10.
10 Law and Order shows that have been on TV for, there's like 9,000 episodes of those. I think that this one is probably worse than almost all of those ones. So.
Maybe not quite that bad. It depends on which one you're talking about because those things have hundreds of episodes. I randomly popped into one and it's like, oh shit.
Stinker.
Yeah, but we expect more from Disney Plus. If you're not good at writing court drama, as when they said in that interview,
She-Hulk,
get somebody to
at law.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going to title your show that, get some advice or an underwriter or whatever. So let's jump into the episode now. So we get a court episode which answers the question, will we ever, she heads to the security prison because it's revealed that Sorcerer Supreme Wong had broken him out. As she's driving there, we get another fourth wall break for cameos, cameos for Wong. Remember who this show's actually is. This is literally straight out of the comics. And she kind of like explains some of the storylines and plot lines that she's going through. I had it saved here somewhere. I'm not able to find it. But, so it is within her universe to do some of this stuff. Now, we have, again, they take a jab at all the men complaining of the show. They anticipated what they would say, and honestly, they nailed it. They fucking nailed it. You know it, right, Alex? The criticisms are almost spot on. There's men complaining about women here, right? One guy actually says, they took Hulk's manhood away. And that we've heard that before.
So
they gave it to the woman.
That is a true statement, but has nothing to do with She-Hulk. That's just Marvel shitting on the Hulk.
That's not
That's not She-Hulk's fault.
It's not She-Hulk's fault. He was already, kind of emphasized because I guess they didn't have the full rights to him, but now they may. Anyways, that's a different discussion. So, does everything have to be female now? Question mark. Ties into every single YouTuber that you've seen that complains about this show and makes a small economy on YouTube over that kind of stuff, and sort of inflating it and making it a little bit bigger than it really is. But I get it. Whatever. It's fine. It's fine to discuss. But I can guarantee you all the dudes that, got collectively triggered at once and exploded when that scene happened. So I'm sure this episode is very low rated. Anyways, that's when I noticed we go to her job again, and she's in a business suit, and the CGI is as bad as we thought it was, honestly, from the trailer. It doesn't look like it has improved from the trailer. They might have put some additional CGI work into those first 2 episodes and then was like, all right, we're good now. We'll have people hooked by this one. It's just not looking too good, but I'm not going to complain too much about the CGI because eventually you can, kind of get over it. It's not fucking god-awful to where it is breaking immersion. It's just slightly distracting. The dick is back in the fucking office. She walks in on a meeting, and here's Dennis, and he's like, oh, God, I don't want her working on the case. And it's like, we're building this forced kind of drama here. I get that men like this exist, but here it just it rings a little hollow, I guess. And then he complains about this girl ghosting him and breaking up with him after he bought her a bunch of stuff. That's how we get Megan the Stallion in here. Because I was like, how are they going to bring in this rapper? And it's because Dennis thought he was dating a 10 and somebody hot and famous. So that makes sense, I guess, a bit in character. But then they do another joke about that. Mallory comes in, and it's a woman that was going to be assigned his case. Says, nope, can't talk to a 10 about embarrassing man stuff.
She's my future fiance.
Shut the fuck up. Jesus. Here's the thing. If this is commentary on, men and how they can be pig-headed and rude to women, when you depict it in such an over-the-top fashion and make it so much where it's like a parody, it almost does a disservice to any message that you're trying to tell, right? If it's done in a more grounded method, then I think it comes across more genuine, and you can see the ramifications of people like that being assholes to women. But I guess it is played for satire. Is it fair that they satire that? Yes. Can they go over the top? Yes.
It's one of two things, right? Either these people are have very little talent and they cannot write it with any sort of subtlety and they have to ham-fist everything, or they think of their audience as morons. And it's not fun to sit and watch a TV show and have the writers go, get it? This man is a pig. It's like, I fucking get it. Stop treating me like an idiot.
Yes, there is a third choice, though, that this show is not for us, which is hard to figure out. Well, then who is it for? The target market would appreciate those types of jokes a lot more than we would, like women, single women, younger women, women that deal with those kinds of guys on Tinder all the fucking time might find those over the top parodies hilarious because sometimes they'll run into, gym bros and men that actually do act like that. So it may just not be a target market, but it's fair for us, who is a part of the viewing audience, to let you know how we feel about it. Anyways, I just think it's a little too much. Then we move on to this Asgardian troll lady. I don't know if we've ever seen her before in any other media, but she's fucking annoying. And again, but she's over the top. She's impersonating people. And he's saying the only reason, I didn't date her, so she basically bamboozled me. She catfished him, right? And he's like, I thought I was dating Megan Thee Stallion. And then Jen is like, multiple Grammy winner Megan Thee Stallion? And he's like, yes, Megan Thee Stallion. It's like, it's so fucking forced, right? And yeah, it's a big joke because she walks out of the office laughing at him, thinking, it's like, how could you think you were dating her? Which is true because Dennis couldn't land anybody of value, in my opinion. But it's too much. So then we get Wong actually entering through his teleportation, and he vouches for Abomination. It's not what I expected, but it does make sense.
How did they get Wong there, though? Do you remember specifically how they got him there?
What you mean?
Thirst trap.
Yeah.
I sent Wong a thirst trap, me lying on a bunch of books. That's how they lure Wong into talking to them.
I completely fucking missed that. Are you serious?
That's what she said.
All right, now we're come on. Let's dial it fucking back. At one point, somebody says dial it back in this episode. I think it was in the after credits. Like, all right, now you guys need to dial it back.
Oh, she said, yeah, I will literally kill for you. And it's like,
dial it back, she said, Megan. And I'm telling the writers to dial it back. I guess that is their idea of a joke. Maybe she wasn't being serious. She didn't really,
That's what
she wasn't
said.
being serious.
I think they just
Oh.
assume the audience is filled with dumb people.
Yeah.
And they may be right.
All right, no, true. Well, to be perfectly honest, I think that the majority of Americans and movie-going audiences are dumb. I mean, we noticed this when we're in theaters, and people are like, ha!
That was a great trailer. It's
like,
like you clapping
what?
at a trailer. Fucking
right,
stop.
bro.
Space Jam 2 is 10 out of 10.
10 out of
True,
10.
man. People were actually pissed that we didn't like that, and I'm like, are you serious? Space Jam: A New Legacy. Anyways, Wong vouches for Abomination, and he won't erase anyone's memory. Little throwback to what happened when you fucking do that with Doctor Strange. And he's like, well, I got to throw him into the mirror or the shadow dimension. Some more fun little callbacks there. And simultaneously, we have subplot B, where the male partner is talking with his client, Dennis, and he's trying to ascertain how much monetary damage, this is all pertained to. How much did you spend on her? And he eventually reveals, embarrassingly, he got catfish for $175,000. He's like, I'm not an idiot, with $200,000, but he is clearly a fucking moron. Anyways, then he walks out, then he walks back in, and he's like, I want to drop the case, and you can tell right away it's this, the shapeshifter. She drinks fucking Red Bull. Red Bull got an advertisement, somebody fucking advertisement, and it annoyed me in Man of Steel. We're crashing into IHOP, and we're fucking in front of Sears. I'm going to fucking mention it here. It's fucking annoying. And Red Bull reveals her, and, she turns into the male partner, and is talking shit to the females. I'm a chauvinist. Again, more with this. And he's like, nope, that wasn't me. That was the fucking elf person. Then Jen shows up, and she apparently has been rejected by the Avengers. That's a rumor that started. I don't know if that ties into the comic book storyline. I don't know if she's ever been actually rejected by the Avengers.
Well, and she has a baby coming with the Abomination. You saw that picture?
Yeah, but that shit does happen on fucking TikTok and Instagram and shit. So I was like, yeah, that probably would happen. And then all of Abomination's soulmates show up to the hearing. So we all thought that maybe this could lead to something
more important.
No.
No.
I did like when he said they're my better eighths, and I was like, I like that a lot. That's funny.
There's a few funny things here. They all show up to the hearing, and apparently they will fund his endeavors outside. Jen is trying to make it seem like he's gonna start a.
Shit, we need to go to prison. We
fucking-
have a bunch of people pay our bills.
Apparently, this is a real thing. Women
I know.
write to prisoners and fall in love because they're bad. They're like the
Serial
ultimate
killers,
bad
like when they
boys.
go to trial, there's like women in there
Fucking
just like
crazy.
It's just like
Yeah. he will kill you if you piss him off. She's like, yeah, take me. I was like, oh my God.
You are crazy.
Anyways, so they depict that here, and but it is also revealed that he is a genuine dude. He has helped a lot of people. There's Carl, who divorced this prison guard who he's helped. Several.
They're not making toilet wine. They're making toilet kombucha,
There
which
you
is
go.
where all kombucha is made.
Don't make me think about it. I won't drink kombucha again. There are some good kombuchas, by the way. Wong is fashionably late to the trial, but he does show up in time. And I'm like, yes, good. Here we go. We cut away. Cut away to subplot B, which is we'll go to the hearing for Dennis and the scam artist. And, her lawyer's making a case. Nah, these are gifts. You're just making, and he's like, yeah, but
they're into role playing.
yeah. He's like, what? No. If I saw what you look like, and this guy would be like, no, you're not a 10, you're a 3. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have been in there. And so, again, more Megan Thee Stallion stuff. Just Megan Thee Stallion. It's like, oh gosh. And then the judge decides, okay, there's enough here that we can actually proceed with this. And the elf lady gets pissed, and she fucking turns into the judge and impersonates the judge, which is highly illegal. In the courtroom, too, that would automatically blow her case up, but it doesn't for some goddamn reason. They do take care of it later, but no, that should have been done and over with. We go back to plot A, where Wong gives his statement in support of Abomination. He truly was using him, but why at a fighting ring? Like, did they make money off it? I want to know specifically more about it. But
That's why I wanted them to focus more on
like
that aspect of that court case instead of the other one. But
he says it's in. It was required for his training. I don't really believe that. You know what I mean? Because then why in an underground fighting ring in Shang-Chi of the Legend of the Ten Rings? Do you know, Alex?
No, there's just, like I said, there's really no reason other than they needed something to fill the episode with.
Yeah, but anyway, they get all this great evidence, and Jen does a great job holding up her case and strengthening it, but they still think he's a monster. He's like, don't worry, I'll show you in a monster form that I'm still in control. He goes in a monster, everybody gets frightened and scared, but ultimately it is shown that he is himself as Abomination, and he can control it to a certain degree. And then Jen basically says he deserves a future as a free man, and they deliberate, and they do decide to eventually, when they cut back, to let him go.
then he can't transform.
And he's wearing an inhibitor.
He's got an inhibitor, can transform, setting up for the future.
Where does this inhibitor come from?
Where we have this conflict where it's like Jen did everything she could to get him free,
right?
and then it's going to blow up in her face. And the inhibitor, what do you mean?
Where'd it come from?
The inhibitor.
Whatever. Where did the fucking prison that they hold these people come from?
No, well, Hulk made a big deal. Like, I can't just make you an inhibitor because this took me like fucking forever to make an inhibitor, and I can't make you one because I'm gonna.
That's true.
Where did this fucking inhibitor?
Quick fix.
Wait a minute. That's true. That would go a level above a fucking prison cell. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Well, that's a little weak writing there.
We gotta
wrap it up. So that's why we're at a
20
6
minutes,
and
20 minutes,
a
let's go.
4 out of 10. Yeah. Anyways, we get the little. She walks back out. There's a hoopla outside. All the reporters. You get your powers from a mafia hit. That's her comic book origin. She goes to a bar and she talks with her best friend about the situation. And she pops her head in, connecting story A with story B. Nice. It's like, all right, the fourth wall, for me, is working in the world of She-Hulk. Then we get a trial scene, but again, they completely comb over the fact that she just committed, it's not perjury, but she impersonated a judge, thus committing a crime in the courtroom. But no, we're just moving on with what happened to the consequences with that. No, but whatever. Walters goes up on the stand and basically attests to how big of a piece of shit Dennis is, and that ends up winning the case because it proves that Dennis is, conceited and he wouldn't basically never be with that particular girl. Basically, yeah.
Megan Stallion is in the court.
Yeah,
that's true. And this is when I wrote, how many fucking times did they say Megan Thee Stallion? Like she was owed money? And why not pick a fictional celebrity from the universe or a fun little cameo where it would have been? And then she seems like a ripoff of Cardi B. With the tongue out. Anyway, she wins the abomination hearing in plot point 8, and it's and as they're wrapping up, Abomination makes a good point that Jen takes advantage of. He says, look, it's better to be about these fucking stories that they write about you anyway, to lead that or to be a part of it rather than to not be a part of it and let them dominate the narrative. So this immediately leads to her giving an interview talking about her name origin, what she does, et cetera, et cetera. So at least she has some control in there, but you can see it's superficial, and they want exercise tips and
fitness,
and food stuff.
diet.
But at least she gets her message out there. Then as she's walking home, we get the Wrecking Crew cameo. Wrecking Crew factors in here. They want to beat her up, extract some of her blood for an unknown boss that we haven't seen. Then she kind of gets scared at first, but then she went, "Oh shit, I'm She-Hulk." That makes sense, like the first time, because you're like, "Oh fuck, no, fuck you," and she beats them very easily. And so that will obviously be a future plot point. And then we get the credits scene. Again, I really like the artwork and the courtroom style. Hate the song. I wrote here credits. It's the Megan song. It's not very good. In fact, it's kind of bad. I didn't like it. and then they show the twerking scene. So she twerks, and again, collectively, all the sensitive dudes on the internet exploded to complain about this. To me, it was like, I don't care. I don't give a shit. They're trying to do something fun.
It's cringy, and I didn't like it, but I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not commenting on anything. It's like, yeah, I didn't like it. I don't give a shit.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the days where you don't like something and you just shut the fuck about it. Like, you just don't.
Yeah, I was like,
well, no, I don't like
dumb.
that. I don't like shut the fuck up about it, because that's our whole fucking show. We love complaining about those kinds of things. But when you blow it so
Exactly.
That's what I mean.
Okay,
Like,
all
I'm
right.
not saying like you can like, hey, did you like that? And you just don't get to say anything. But like, I hate everything
I didn't
about it.
like
It's like,
it, but-
just stop it.
So I took to Reddit. I took some screenshots here. It's like, I agree. No, there's actually some reasonable stuff. There's funny because there's two different areas on Reddit, and we'll get to that. But this one is like, I don't know why everyone acting. This is Pickles Guy. I don't know why everyone is acting like this scene gave them cancer and killed their parents. It's just a silly post-credit scene, and it fits the fucking tone of the show fine. And he's right. He's right. Is it cringy? Yeah. Is it for not our demographic? Yeah. And then other guy is, was it post-credit? Then what the fuck is the riot about? Right? It's not like in the middle of the show in Resident Evil, you have the fucking main villain turning into a pop star and then doing all that. It felt fucking ridiculous.
Get your show canceled.
These post-credits.
Burn.
Boom. Season 2 canceled. Yeah, and not to mention the friend is Megan Thee Stallion playing herself, which is important context for the joke. And apparently, see, this is stuff that we don't know. Megan Thee Stallion basically built her career off the fact that she twerks a lot in her stuff. And then people are now complaining that she twerks in a cameo appearance on why she's famous. 5-second post-credit gag, not a big fucking deal. And then check IMDb and Twitter for a good laugh. The incels have come out of their caves in full force. The show is fun. I think some people know that this episode made a lot of fun at exactly the types of people who are like, oh my God, they made the Hulk a girl. Why is everything female? Why does everything have to be so woke? Personally, I thought the episode was hilarious and the twerk scene was funny. So super people, but then there's also people that's like, look, this super cringe. There's nothing to riot about. That's where I'm at. It's cringe, nothing to riot about.
Yeah.
And then this is the research that I did about the fourth wall breaker. She was a fourth wall breaker before Deadpool. Generally, one of the more lighthearted, comedic characters within comic book canon. And in addition, in her comics, she addresses pop culture, in the comics. So when you have a pop culture icon, which that's arguable because I've never fucking heard of Megan Thee Stallion. Maybe they couldn't afford Cardi B. I don't fucking know. But and when they taking jabs at Marvel or male readers for being horny, you know, they're just going over the top with this kind of stuff. She's kind of a little unhinged in the comics. She's unhinged here. So I thought, you know, especially when the She-Hulk series itself is satire and parodies this kind of pop culture stuff, that it's fine. But yeah, let's keep it out of the main plot line in a post-credit scene. Not a fucking big deal for me. But I think that this is a crossroads, like I said before. Episode 4, we better start ramping up the She-Hulk stuff, whether it's the crime fighting and more in-depth attorney-at-law stuff, rather than the fucking Dennis, why does everything have to be female?
We still have to get to her dating, because remember, we've seen a bunch of things of her trying to date.
At the bar. That's fine. I mean,
well, it's fine if it's a little snippet. If it's an entire episode of her dating, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that there will be a whole episode of her dating. If you think about it, that seems fine to tackle, especially since it's tackled in the comics. But again, we are desiring some crime fighting. We are desiring some more courtroom drama, which we just got, to be fair. But let's see where the series is going. Who is behind some of these plot lines, and how Daredevil ends up showing up, et cetera, et cetera. And what about that Frogman? Or am I thinking of a different series? Do you remember the Frogman guy? I don't know if that's this series. Anyways, we'll see. We'll see in the future. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next Angry Joe show. Bye, guys.